my god.
I'll take your entire stock!
Alright boys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day, okay? Today boys, I want to talk about Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine for the PS3. Obviously the sequel for this game is coming out very shortly, and I'm super duper excited for that. Now before we do a deep dive onto this game guys, I think it's worth mentioning that I'm not a Warhammer fan at all. I don't know jack about Warhammer, I just have zero knowledge of it. My knowledge of Warhammer is pretty much a YouTube short that pops up every 3 months of Henry Cavill saying Necrons.
I'm going Necrons next.
No,
Necrons?
wait. Oh.
Okay, alright, cool.
Were you
Shall we-
into-
Yes.
That's my entire Warhammer knowledge. Well, that might be a little bit of a lie, guys, because obviously I've played this game. I've actually played it twice now, because I played it originally back in the day, and I've replayed it again. Also, I've played this one, okay, on the PS2, Warhammer 40,000 Fire Warrior. This game was so good. I love this game. I feel like I could do an entire separate video on this game, because I've just got tons of nostalgia for this one. I bought it from a car boot sale for £3, which I know it's going to sound weird, but that was actually quite a lot of money back in the day. When I used to go to the car boot, most games were either £1 or £2. Very rarely you would see games for more than that. This one was £3 from this guy. He always used to sell tools. Like, he would have a bunch of like drill bits and just random tool accessories, but then he had this like small stash of PS2 games every time, but they were always bangers, like every time. I know this isn't, like, we're meant to be talking about this game, but I'm talking about this one. But yeah, I don't know, I've got fond memories of it. But yeah, every time I'd go to the car boot, I'd go to this guy, have this small little stash of PS2 games, and I would be happy to pay £3, even though that was more expensive than I wanted to pay at a car boot sale, because I knew I was coming home with something good. And obviously I remember picking this one up, and I was very happy. Anyway, we're not talking about that game today, guys. We're talking about Space Marine. I absolutely adore this game. Now obviously the sequel to this game is coming out very soon, guys. I'm super pumped for that. It looks absolutely amazing. I was thinking about getting this game on day one. It's not too often that I do get games on day. I usually wait a little while till they get cheaper, but this game I would like to get on day one, but I think I'm gonna wait, guys, okay? I think I might wait till Christmas. Now I know that sounds really bizarre, but my mum always asks me like what I want for Christmas. I'm like, Mum, it's fine, I'm a grown adult, alright, you don't need to get me anything for Christmas, but she always insists on getting me something. So maybe I'll ask for Space Marine 2, alright? Santa might bring his fat ass round this house, down the chimney, and give me Space Marine 2 for Christmas. I might just do that. Right, we've spent way too long in this video just talking absolute bollocks. Alright, let's get on to why this game is so good. So when I originally played this game, guys, I did enjoy it. Like, I remember getting this game up for my birthday, I'm pretty sure, and I liked it. But after replaying it the other day, because I've just been playing it for a couple of days, I finished it. Oh my god, this game is so much better than I remembered. I remember liking this game, but holy moly, guys, this game is absolutely fantastic. When it comes to the story, I've got no idea what the hell is going on for literally like the entirety of it. Like the first 5 minutes I was pretty much on board. You got the Space Marines, they don't seem to like the orcs too much. They want to mass murder all the orcs. I don't know what the orcs did wrong, but they don't like them too much. A little bit later on, this guy with a very dodgy haircut decides to do some weird magical shit, and he becomes this traitor for some reason. Then there's a load of red demon guys, and then the story gets weird, and I'm just confused as shit. So yeah, you Warhammer fans will understand what the hell this game is about, but me, I was completely lost. But at the same time, I didn't really care, guys, because the game was so freaking fun. It didn't bother me that the story was, you know, just going over my head. So yeah, what is the actual gameplay to this game, guys? Like, what do you actually do in this game? Well, pretty much, guys, it's predominantly a third-person shooter. That's what most of the game is spent doing, but at the same time, it mixes it in, like, sort of hack and slash to it, you know, like, it's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like God of War meets, I'm trying to think of a third-person shooter here, I don't know, Binary Domain, but with orcs.
It's a bit of a weird analogy.
That's how I would describe it. God of War has a baby with Binary Domain, which is a really obscure PS3 game, and then you mix in some orcs, and that's what you get here. It was a terrible analogy for this game, but basically it's a hack and slash third-person shooter mix, and my god is it fun, okay? Killing orcs in this game, I felt bad for the orcs, honestly, because you were just obliterating them with all these different weapons. Like, you've got chain swords, you've got a battle axe, which is freaking awesome. There's also like a big giant hammer that you get. It's just ridiculously devastating. All the different guns are super overpowered in this game as well. The game starts off with this pretty crummy pistols. It's not the best, but then as the game goes on, you get better weapons. Like, you get this like SMG thing, and then you get like sniper rifles. I love the sniper rifles in the game, guys. They are devastating. Shooting an orc's head and just seeing it just explode into red sort of mist. I don't know, it's just super satisfying. There's also like a laser sort of like sniper rifle that just does a lot more damage than a regular sniper rifle. That was super overpowered. There's there's grenade launchers, there's just tons of different guns in this game, as well as like melee weapons. And the game just spawns endless amounts of orcs and other enemies at you, and you just go ahead and kill them, and it's so ridiculously satisfying. It never got boring to me. I was even getting a little bit worried as I was playing through it, like in the early hours. I was thinking, this game is almost too fun. I feel like it's gonna have a big drop off, but it never really did. Part of the reason I did think this game was gonna have a big fall off is this game was throwing tons of cool stuff at me within like a couple of chapters. Like within chapter 2, this game throws tons of new guns at you and weapons, and I'm like, how is this game gonna keep this up for the, you know, for the whole game? Like surely they're gonna run out of stuff. And it does slow down, obviously. You don't constantly get new stuff throughout the whole game at that pace, but they still do manage to find a way to give you new stuff throughout the game to keep you enjoying it. Like there's parts of the game where this game will just give you a jetpack, and you will just fly up into the air and just hit like orcs with your hammer, and I tell you, it's the most satisfying shit ever. It's so fun to do that.
I love it. In fact, it makes me really horny.
The game also has like a fury mode, like where you've killed enough people, you click L3 and R3, and then you just go Super Saiyan, you just do way more damage and stuff. If you go into like iron sights with your guns, it goes into like slow motion as well. So yeah, you just basically become super overpowered, plus your health increases and you can regain your health as well. Speaking of regaining health, guys, one thing this game does that I really like is that when you do executions, it gives you your health back. I love it when games do that. Like they give you an incentive to do executions other than them just looking cool, because that's what most games do. I like games like Doom or Doom Eternal where you kill an enemy with an execution and you get ammo and health and things like that. This game does that. Obviously it gives you more health when you do an execution, so it just gives you a reason to constantly do it, even though you've seen the animations a million times with the executions. It just gives you that reason to keep doing them, so I quite like that. I also like the fact that this game just makes you feel like a badass constantly, okay, and part of that is the power armor here. You're basically just a walking tank. You're walking around or running around with this giant clunking armor, and you're just a beast in this game. Like you just feel so overpowered when you come up against like 50 orcs and you're just smashing through them with that beautiful power armor. It's just such an awesome fun game, and I just feel like the PS3 and 360 had a lot of games like this. They just let you off the reins. Like they just said, have fun. Alright, it wasn't too serious, you didn't have to think too deeply about it. They just give you cool guns and cool stuff and say, go ahead, go and kill stuff. Alright, I love the PS3 and 360 era because there's tons of games like this.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time.
Nowadays, games have got to be a minimum of 30 hours with tons of side quests, and it's got to be open world, and there's tons of shit you have to do, and it's like, just give me a game where I have guns and I'm killing stuff and it's fun, alright? That's all I want in my video games, and this game just is perfect for that. Every day I'd sit on my ass to play this game, I just knew I was going to have a simple but fun time, and I wish games would get back to this, and I'm really hoping the Space Marine 2 is a return to this. Obviously, I don't want it to be an exact replica of this game. I want it to do new stuff, obviously, but I just hope it's not too deep with mechanics. I just want to have fun, you know? I hope it just gives you cool guns and lets you kill orcs, alright? That's all I really want to do, and yeah, it's just such a fun time. But in terms of critiques for this game, guys, I don't really have anything, to be honest with you. I could probably nitpick with this game, but in terms of things I really hated about the game, there's literally nothing. There's nothing I truly disliked about the game, but if I'm gonna get into nitpicks, I guess there's a couple of things. Towards the end of the game, it did start to lose a bit of steam. I was having a lot more fun in the first 2 to 3 hours of this game than I was in the last sort of quarter of the game, but you know, that kind of goes without saying. That generally happens with most games, but you know, like I said, I am nitpicking.
All you ever do is complain.
The only maybe serious critique I could say about the game, guys, is the final boss, or the lack thereof, I should say. There's not really a final boss in this game. You kind of are just falling from the sky, and you do some QTEs. That's kind of the final boss here. I will admit that was a bit of a letdown. I wanted to get in, you know, I wanted to get stuck in, I wanted to fight, I wanted to shoot, and you didn't really get to do that. The game just sort of threw some enemies at you, which were tough enemies. Alright, towards the end of the game does get pretty difficult. Not super hard, but it definitely is more hard towards the end of the game. But yeah, there wasn't really much of a final boss. You're just falling from the sky, and you do some QTEs, and that's the end of the game. And I was like, oh, you know, I was expecting a full-on, like, final boss, but there really wasn't one. But yeah, like I said, guys, I don't really have a lot of criticism, okay? I'm literally nitpicking here. I really enjoyed this game from start to finish. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a decent length. It's probably about 6 to 7 hours. It's a pretty, I wouldn't say short game, but, you know, it's not like a long game at all. Visually, this game looks fantastic, okay? It's aged super well. It's ridiculously fun to just go around killing orcs. I love the different weapons in this game, and it's just a great fun time. Plus, if you're a Warhammer fan, then you're going to get even more out of this game, okay, because you're going to get all of the story and the lore and all of that. So yeah, I don't really see a reason not to pick this game up and play it, guys. It's super duper fun. Not to mention, it's also not that expensive. I think this game is £8 at CEX on PS3, and I think it's £10 on the 360, so not super expensive. So yeah, pick this game up, guys, and play it. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, are you looking forward to a new Space Marine game? I sure as hell know I am. Other than that, though, subscribe here if you're new, and I'll see you guys next one, alright? Peace.